All right, we're all here. Everybody's excited? Cool. You excited to hear about this, or you excited because you get free lunch? Either way's cool. Yes. So we're going to keep this, even though this is a real fancy, room and everything like that. We're not real fancy people, at least I'm not. So we're going to keep this pretty lighthearted and fun, hopefully. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And I'm Chris Piercy, and I'm in charge of the Backyard Expo division for Horner Express. And the Backyard Expo is everything that's outside the swimming pool. So that would be things like outdoor kitchens and patio furniture and pergolas. And fire features, and I get involved with a little bit of hardscapes, like with the stone hardscapes and concrete pavers. So I kind of just specialize in the little bit different things than we may be used to. So we're going to hopefully open your eyes and give you an education, because there's a lot more out there than just the water in the backyard, right? So we're going to talk about outdoor kitchens, which are the new necessity, right? So who's ready to sell outdoor living? Oh, cool. I got some fans, and that's awesome. This is from 2023, the permit report, and this year the trend is continuing. So what this slide was designed to do is 2023 is the blue line down there at the bottom versus the year before that versus the year before that. So you see the trend, right? Right. We all know that the economy is not as robust as it was during the, or our economy in the swimming pool business isn't as robust as it was during the COVID times, right? So what are you going to do? We think you got to do a few things. You got to make every lead and job count, because there's less people coming, and you have to close the sale. That's kind of important. And you got to try to sell a bigger project, right? When you get somebody who's interested in doing whatever it is they're doing, what else can you sell them, right? Take advantage of the people that you got. And the things that you can sell them would be outdoor kitchens, patio shade structures like pergolas, maybe some artificial turf or some additional decking products, or all that good stuff. So I put this line in here that says sometimes you have to get rid of your own head trash. Right, because sometimes as pool builders or renovators or contractors, like, we only think about what we used to do. And if you get stuck in that mindset, then you don't know what all is available to capitalize on. Yes? Would you have a question?
Head trash meaning like preconceived notions, right? Just getting rid of, because 20 grand to us might be a lot, but to somebody else we know is nothing. So.
Yeah, don't judge a book by the cover, right? And if you're doing a renovation for someone's pool, like, what do you think the average cost of renovation is?
30 grand.
30 grand. So you think someone could...
Another 15.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the point, right? And you would never get an answer if you didn't ask the question. So...
So you don't believe in soccer. Learn how to ask.
That's right. That's right. At McDonald's, you go to the drive-thru and they ask you if you want to supersize every time.
They always say medium or large. They never say that. They always say medium or large.
They used to be like, come on, it's only 25 cents more, it's only 50 cents more.
They're upselling you, right?
They're just offering.
Yeah.
Now it's 350 more.
You never know if you don't ask, right? So don't be afraid to ask. What's the worst thing that can happen? They say no.
Start it and ask again.
Right, 5 times at least. I like you. You got it going on, Joel. We want you to make more profit on every job. Like, who doesn't? So, outdoor kitchens. Like, people want them. Like, who in this room wouldn't want to have an outdoor kitchen? You don't want one?
No, just kidding. I'll say, who doesn't want one?
Somebody had to raise their hand.
Yeah, I mean, people want them, right? Now, can people afford them? Do people have the space? Those are all different questions, but everyone would like to have one. I mean, they're super popular. Last year there was 2 million, is that a billion? Yeah, annual searches on Google. 7.1 million TikTok videos about outdoor kitchens. 71 million.
Yeah.
I don't know what a hashtag is, but there's a lot of people doing that too. According to Forbes, outdoor kitchens are seeing the strong design trends in modern homes. Outdoor kitchens top the American Institute of Architects projects that most people are looking for. So whoever these American architects are, I don't know, but the idea is that people want an outdoor kitchen. We all know that people want to spend more time at home, blah, 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 blah. An outdoor kitchen is a great addition to any home or outdoor space. And guess what? There might be more people in Florida that have a backyard that want an outdoor kitchen than that want a pool. Not everyone wants a pool, right? And we think about pools only, right? But there's a lot of people who may not want a pool, but they want to be in their backyard. So they might want an outdoor kitchen. They might want a fire feature. They might want a pergola. So outdoor kitchens. There's a couple different ways you can build an outdoor kitchen, and this is one of them. And I call it the major pain option because it is. Concrete blocks are used to build a cabinetry. And although that's going to last forever because it's concrete blocks, it's a pretty major construction project, right? Big mess, lots of stuff, lots of time involved. Takes a long time to get it completed. And although the material cost is pretty low because concrete blocks are like $1.50 a piece at Home Depot, and then you got some mortar, you got a whole lot of cost involved with labor and time. And you certainly have to have the right contractor in the backyard to be able to facilitate that. And there's permits involved and so forth and so on. So that is a less popular option. This is, I call the questionable option. And this is where they use a pressure treated, or maybe not, but they use a wooden structure.
Like an MDF?
Yeah, maybe at best. And you know, what are some negatives you can think of with wood outside in Florida?
Humidity and the salt and rain. Rot.
Bugs, rot.
Carpenter ants.
What about that grill that gets 700 degrees that you're resting on top of a combustible material? Probably not the best. Again, there's going to be some specialty trades involved. If you're doing one made out of wood, you definitely need what's called a grill liner, which is basically a stainless steel pan that goes underneath of the grill or the side burner or whatever to keep the heat away from the wood, because you don't want to have your outdoor kitchen cabinet turned into the grill.
They can sell it as a dual purpose.
And this is like not as uncommon as you might think. The top picture is a brand new house. I was golfing 2 months ago and driving my golf cart, drinking beer, having a good time, and drove by this, I don't know, probably $750,000 new home, and that's what they were making it out of. The home builder. Wood. Wood is not good. So this is the more common approach. I call it the unreliable option. And this is where you buy metal studs and you face the exterior with hardy board or Durarock or whatever. And this certainly is affordable and can work if you have the right dude doing it, the right contractor partner. But the problem is if you don't, right? Because if there's an issue with this project and the customer paid you the money and there's an issue, who are they mad at? You or that guy? Well, they don't know who that guy is, right? So if that guy's good and he's a good trade partner and it's all good, it can work out just fine. But there are some challenges because you have to find the right guy. It's also a more lengthy process. Certainly better than wood, and it's probably the most common way of doing it. But we think there's a better way, which is a factory-built custom kitchen. That sounds sexy, right? Factory-built custom kitchen. So what do you think factory-built means?
You guys build it.
Yeah, it's built at a factory. And so building at a factory, there's some quality control involved. The thing is always flush and level and fit and finish and always nice, and it's always done the same way every time. There's actually a process involved versus some dude who picked up a rent-a-drunk at the Home Depot parking lot to come out and help him for the day. So it's more of a production line process, right? And as part of that, you get a warranty, you get some assurances, and you get a quality built product. So it is really built to last. So one of the differentiators between our cabinetry and the guy who built it on site is you look inside of it and it looks like a kitchen cabinet. It's fit, it's finished, it's sealed, it's painted with antimicrobial, anti-corrosive material, and it looks like something you wouldn't be ashamed to offer. So this is a cutaway of what it looks like on the inside. Obviously it looks bigger than this, but So it's made out of 18 gauge galvanized steel studs with hardy board exterior. It has a floor in it. It's painted with an antimicrobial, anti-corrosive finish. So it's designed to keep, looking good for a long, long time. The outside of it can be textured with an acrylic texture, like we used to do a long time ago with swimming pool decks, right? We use acrylic versus stucco because it's a lot more flexible. It doesn't peel and chip and flake. It can be just about any color they want. Or we can send it to you unfinished and you put a stone veneer on the outside of it. It can come from the factory with a natural stone tile countertop. And we get a lot of different options for tile countertops. We can't send it.
That's not the thickness that they put outside, that's just for the sample, right?
That is the thickness, not the size.
Understood.
Okay? So if it's coming from the factory with a countertop already installed, it's going to be tile. You can't send it from the factory with a solid piece of granite on it because it would be so heavy you wouldn't be able to do anything with it. And also, if you've ever seen granite being delivered, it's always delivered like this, not like this, because granite doesn't have a whole lot of tensile strength. So it would be in tile by the time it arrived, right? Because it'd be 100 different pieces. So with the tile, it has some flexibility. Okay, it's going to be 18-inch by 18-inch tile, so it's big, but it is tile thickness, which is 1/4 of an inch. If you have a client who wants a solid granite countertop, you say, yeah, we do that too. We're just going to send it without a countertop from the factory, and we're going to do the granite after the thing's installed. Capiche? Cool. I'll tell you in a second. Good question. So these are all the different countertop tile options. This thickness, not this size, right? So we got marble, travertine, granite, and also porcelain.
Can we get to the boards?
Yes, you can.
These are the countertop options?
Countertop options. Yep. All right, what do I do with my clicker? Here we go. Back to the tile, just to touch on it. If it does have tile countertops, the grout that we use, first of all, it's a very thin grout line. It's about as tight as you can get. And we use quartz grout versus a cementous grout. So quartz grout becomes a rock, right? So the grout doesn't get gross and nasty like your bathroom, right, might get. Okay. And it has a lifetime structural warranty on it. Wow. It's a long time.
Lifetime,
Forever.
forever.
And so this is what the cabinet looks like on the inside. You see it can actually put stuff in there and use it for storage. So it looks, really nice. So it's a great finished space for outdoor storage. And this is I'm not going to show you this video, it's dumb. This is basically the installation process. So remember, it comes from the factory, already built. The cutouts for the appliances are already done, and we'll get into appliances in a minute, but everything's done. So the installation process usually takes about an hour for it to get off of the truck into the backyard and set up. If you're doing stone veneer and adding granite to it, it obviously adds some time to that, but if you're getting ones that's ready to use, it's pretty quick. Edison, can you run this, or do I have to do something? Okay, go.
How long does it take? Just curious, time that once you place the order.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
It's gotta be permanent? Factory that was followed by.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so a couple things about this particular job. We really have installers. The people in the video were not. That was me and another dude. But I wanted to get the video done, so that's why we did it, okay? This particular job has a solid granite countertop on it. and they put a 24-inch by 24-inch travertine tile as the facade, all done after the cabinet goes in place. So, you know, this whole installation, as far as getting the cabinet in place and putting the appliances in, took me and the other dude about an hour. Then another contractor came and finished the finish work. Okay, but it's really, really simple. So you asked me a question about permitting. Are you supposed to get a permit for anything you do in your house that's over $500? The answer is yes. Do people get permits for anything they do in their house over $500? The answer would be no. This is a factory-built custom cabinet, right? So it's built somewhere else and delivered as a unit to the job site. So in a lot of municipalities, they consider this patio furniture, okay? Not a permanent structure. So there's a lot of municipalities and a lot of contractors, and a lot of dealers who do not pull permits, and there's no issue with it. Are you doing it by the way you're supposed to do it when you do it that way? The answer would be no, okay?
Do you have to have some type of plumbing line coming up?
We'll get into that. Depends on, yeah, it depends on, you know, what's going in the cabinet. If you're doing a sink, then yes, you would need to have the plumbing lines.
That would have to be done with the deck if you're doing a deck.
Yeah, or sometimes actually people can run the plumbing like into the back, you know, or into the one of the sides or something like that. So there's, you know, there's ways around things. I'm trying to be as honest and forthright as I can be. You know, it kind of depends on what else is involved in the project. If it's brand new construction, then yeah, you probably need to get a permit. If it's renovation of a pool, do you get a permit for that?
No, you didn't.
Right. Okay. We're moving right along here.
So we would bring PVC pipes up through the,
Stub it up, good.
Hey, can we run it one more time real quick, Edison?
Sure.
I'm going to show you. So you see how the cabinet's already built and all the cutouts are done for the appliances and such. In this particular job site, you're going to see that he has pipes coming up from the bottom. Yep. So what the installer would do is he will then, you know, transfer those holes into the bottom of the cabinet, set the cabinet on top of the stub out or against the stub out.
That's the island. Go next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Pipes already stubbed up.
Or maybe there's an outlet on the wall, or the water fixtures are coming out of the wall. Same kind of deal. Okay, thank you, Edison. So you can get it from the factory with a tile countertop, like on the top right and the bottom right, or you can do it with no countertop, because we're going to do a solid slab after the cabinet's in place, which I'll give you pricing on too. And it looks like that.
Paradise Grills, they have a fake
Granite.
granite countertop that's almost like plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something you guys offer as well?
It is not currently.
Okay.
We offer real solid, real granite material. I know what you're talking about. It's kind of cool. I'm looking into
It
it.
looks like it.
To be
It looks
honest
like
with you,
it, yeah.
that's kind of like a honeycomb design on the inside of it, and it's like a real thin skin on the outside of it. And if we were able to do that, then we would be able to deliver it from the factory with that on it. But right now, the answer is no.
Okay.
But good question. So you can also get it with the acrylic texture on it, like on the right-hand side. Or you do it no finish on it, because we're going to put stone veneer on it, and we do that again at the job site. You wouldn't want to deliver and install this thing with the veneer already on it, because you wouldn't want to be able to do that. It would be very heavy and also very problematic.
Just something I want to throw out, because we did one
Mm-hmm.
recently. So like when he's saying the stone veneer and the granite countertop, it's not something we have to bring someone else in. They're going to provide that for us. It's already built in. They're going to deliver it with no skin on it or whatever,
Mhm.
and no top. And they're going to coordinate the granite installer. They're going to coordinate their own people to do the ledger stone on it. Like it's not something that we have to hook up a crew. Like, we're literally
We
doing
are
it.
trying to make this.
And they're doing the whole thing for us. So it's not like we have to bring one of our subs back in to do the ledger stone and put the door.
That's correct.
We're not involved in anything. We're literally just order takers at this point. They're
We
gonna-
try to make it as turnkey
I
as
don't know if that
possible
was
for
clear
you.
to everybody else.
Oh, but thank you for pointing it out. Yeah, we have almost a turnkey program. And when I say almost, we are not gas guys, we're not electricians, and we're not plumbers. Okay? So if you're selling a kitchen with a sink, I'm not going to be able to connect that plumbing. Okay? And we'll get into more discussion about that, but thank you for pointing that out, Greg. Appreciate it. So we talked about the cabinet part of it, right? And you mentioned Paradise. So have you ever been to a Paradise showroom and looked at them or know much about them?
Customers have them.
So when we get into the pricing discussion, if you sell it for the price that we suggest you sell it for, you'll be very competitive price-wise with Paradise. The benefit to the consumer buying it from you is they get a whole lot more options because this is a custom kitchen versus exactly what they see in the Paradise showroom. They can change things up, they can move things around, they can make it the exact size they want, so that's a benefit. The quality of the cabinetry is way, way better. If you look at, you should go out and shop, right, and just open up the cabinet doors and look inside of some of the competition, you'll notice a huge difference. Like, it's really eye-opening. So anyway, cabinetry is one part of it, right? And we have a really cool cabinet. It's built at a factory, comes already built, real easy. But we also have the grill part of it, or the appliance part of it, right? So do you guys need to be experts in all things grills? No, not at all. We partner with Somerset. Somerset is kind of our main trade partner as far as appliances go, but we do have relationships with others like Blaze and Fire Magic and AOG and a couple more. So if someone says, hey, I really want to buy this outdoor kitchen, but I want to use brand X, probably we can provide brand X, but if we can't, then all you have to do is say, cool, let us sell you the cabinetry, you tell me the cutout dimensions of the brand X, and we will make the cabinet accommodate.
If I can do that, will you buy today?
Right. Sure I will. Give me a pen. Let's sign this invoice. So anyway, I'm not going to go into a huge presentation on Somerset, but I will pass this out and point out a few things for you. Shaboom, shaboom. Hope I have enough. Looks like I am going to be one short at the moment, but no, not to worry. So this is a brand new catalog. So this catalog is set up kind of weird. If you just, I'm just going to like point out a few things. Go to page 10 for me. Which over on the left says it's a Sizzler grill. So this is the entry-level Somerset grill. And when I say entry-level, I'm not talking about Walmart, Kmart, Home Depot. I mean, this is a really nice quality product. All the Somerset appliances grills have a lifetime consumer warranty on them. And it's a lifetime warranty on everything that doesn't plug in. So if the grill has light bulbs, that ain't covered for a lifetime. It's covered for 3 years. So that's kind of the limitation. And it's a consumer warranty. So let me just, you guys know what I mean when I say consumer warranty? That is true. But what I'm really trying to get at is, in the pool business, when someone buys a brand new Jandy heater or pump and there's an issue with it, what happens? Jandy will come out. Somerset ain't coming out. No other appliance manufacturer in the industry is coming out. Okay, this is a parts warranty. If they want or need labor coverage, then they have service stations available, but it ain't covered as part of the warranty. Most of the stuff on a grill is very user-friendly and user-changeable. So 7 years from now, Mrs. Jones has an issue with her burner. She contacts Somerset. She sends them a picture of the burner, and they send her a new burner, or a cooking grate, or a knob, or whatever it might be. Okay? Just want everybody to understand, it is a lifetime warranty on the stainless steel cooking grates, burners, igniters, knobs, not light bulbs, but you know, light bulb's a light bulb. But it is a consumer warranty, meaning there's no warranty coverage for labor. Cool?
Can you supply the labor, or we have to find the labor?
Well, the homeowner could supply the labor. There's lots of, I'm not a,
Where can we do it in custom?
you do it, charge them to do it. They call the Grill Doctor or Grills Plus, one of those type of places that, that's what they do.
That would be extra.
Yeah. Okay, so nothing to be afraid of, and it's the way it is with all grills, just so you know.
I don't know any grill company that has like lifetime burners.
No, there is
Never
no,
used to have it.
there's,
They long gone that.
And if they do, it's limited lifetime.
yeah. And Somerset's really good. They don't even ask questions. They just say, I'm shipping a burner. You know, it's not a fight. So anyway, the Sizzler is the entry level, and if you go back a page to page 9, this is called a Sizzler Pro, and it looks exactly like the Sizzler, but now you get lights over the cooking knobs. Woo, cool. And you get lights on the inside. Woo, fancy.
That aren't covered.
They're well covered for 3 years.
Okay.
But if you have to buy a new light bulb, you have to buy a new light bulb. But anyway, that's the difference between the Sizzler and the Sizzler Pro. And it's a retail price difference of about $400, just so you know. And what you get for $400, you get fancy lights.
Better steel.
Same.
443 compared
Well,
to
Android 304, right?
You'd have to have an electrician now.
That is correct. So sometimes it can be problematic because you definitely need an electrician if you have lights. Okay?
400 plus the electric.
Yeah, yeah. And then the next
pergola
one up
has a light.
is called a TRL. And now it's 304 stainless and it's thicker. So it's a little heavier duty. It's a little fancier. All the Somerset grills have the rear rotisserie burner, which is an infrared burner that goes on the back. The Sizzler and the Sizzler Pro, you have to purchase separately the motor and the spit. The TRL model comes with the motor and the spit. So price point wise, it's about $200 more than the Sizzler Pro, but now you're getting the rotisserie. It's got the lights, the rotisserie, and everything. And I'm going to show you the pricing, how easy it is in a minute, but just trying to point out a few things. Cool?
40 pounds is a lot of meat.
And it holds 40 pounds of meat on the rotisserie. Now, the reality is, 95% of the world would never use the rotisserie because they don't know about it. They don't know how to do it. They don't care. So that's why, to keep the prices a little bit better, the Sizzler and the Sizzler Pro don't include it. But if they wanted to buy a rotisserie with a Sizzler Pro, it's $150 and they have a rotisserie. Cool? And then they have this Quest grill, which is just a more expensive, fancier grill. Somebody who's really into barbecuing and stuff, maybe this is the option for them. The grills that we sell the most of are the Sizzler and the Sizzler Pro, just so you know. KISS. I can't say keep it simple stupid anymore. It's got to be keep it simple selling now because, I got to be wokey and all that. You look on page 13, there's a pizza oven. You look on page 12, there's a griddle. People always want the Blackstone. Blackstones are really cool right now. You don't want to put a Blackstone in a nice outdoor kitchen because it ain't going to be very nice for very long. Hope I don't offend anyone with a Blackstone because I have one. But, the quality is not quite the same as what I'm trying to get at. So then we have side burners, okay, that would be on page 14. And people are either going to want a side burner or they're not going to care. So if they want one, cool. If they don't, cool.
I've never used mine.
I don't care.
What about a Komodo or a green egg?
Sure. We don't sell green eggs. We sell Primo.
Primo?
It's not a Somerset product. It's a different brand. But yes, we have access to those. Refrigeration.
Like a green egg. Oh, that's
Yeah, like a green egg.
So when I built mine, I could have, like that drop in, you could have added that.
Sure could have. Sorry, buddy. Didn't know.
Well, I knew we didn't have that brand. I forgot. about
Not
it.
green
That
eggs.
was me.
So let me tell you green eggs. Green eggs are great.
I'm
Thing
learning
in my
too.
car.
Green eggs are awesome. And they are like a cult following. Like they really did a good job of like getting people green egged and brainwashed. But we don't sell green eggs because you can buy them at Ace Hardware, Pinch a Penny. What's that?
What's it called?
Primo.
We can,
And they're in different colors, are they? Or
Primo is black.
just black?
Just black. All black all the
You
time.
do the cutout, you could do a primo cutout.
Yep. Typically what we do when we do a smoker, either Big Green Egg or a Primo or a Komodo Joe or whoever it is, we'll do a drop-down shelf. So the cabinet drops down and the Primo sits in the drop-down area versus in a hole. It just works out a little bit better. Refrigeration, we have ice makers, ice chests, just about anything that anyone would want is what I'm trying to get at in the catalog. All right.
One-stop shop.
What's the cost on the primos?
Uh,
So I ended up having, that's the one we just did. I ended up having to go buy the green egg.
okay.
So you could have just had one with it.
Yeah.
What's the cost on the Primo?
I mean, it depends on whether you get
That's
the
the large.
XL,
That's
the
the
large.
I mean, I paid $1,000 for that.
I think the dealer cost on the large is like
So it's cheaper.
$750-ish.
Yeah, I could have made money on it. And,
Well, and yeah, the problem is that with the Big Green Egg, they're great, right? But they sell to Pinch a Penny, Ace.
Yeah.
They don't sell through distribution, so I don't really participate. And you can't really buy one direct probably for less money than you can buy one from wherever else. So anyhow, that's that. All right, let's keep on going. We're gonna see what else we can find here, and then we'll get some lunch. This is a little slide I put together, mainly targeting pool builders, but I'll just walk you through it. So if you sell an $80,000 pool project, how much profit do you make?
18,000 to 25.
Okay.
That's too much.
Yeah.
My favorite number.
It ain't that much.
No?
It's about 10%.
Get away with trade secrets.
Now, if you guys do better than that, cool. Keep going.
We're going to make it up.
But am I wrong when I say that?
Is that, let me ask you a question though, is that,
I'm talking net after everything's done.
so let me ask you a
You're
question.
also talking about the industry as a whole. There's
I am.
the outliers too.
I am.
But you're not talking about the whole pool package, it's just for a kitchen.
No, I'm talking about a pool
The whole
package.
pool renovation with a kitchen pool.
Well, renovation's different because the margins are a lot better
But you're talking about the
We're
build.
running this like a 30% margin.
on renovation.
Yeah, we're marking up 25-30%.
Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about new construction, new pool builds. Yeah, I'm not talking renovation because I know you, new pool construction.
How much is 80
About-
grand?
About 10% is the profit you make on $80,000 job.
Keep me out of the building.
You can do a whole pool package for 80 grand?
Well,
We're just,
I can
this,
sell
yeah, we're just making a point to make the numbers easy, but, so maybe we'll bump it up to 100,000 for the slide, so there's no confusion.
so
pool start at 58,000 today. I never.
anyhow, so if it was 10%, it's $8,000 for the new pool at $80,000. If it was 100, it'd be 10,000. You get the point, right? So what if something goes wrong? How much scheduling, aggravation, coordination did it take to get you to 8 grand profit? A lot. How much money did you have to spend with your subcontractors and suppliers before you got the final payment? A lot. And how long does it take you? Like how long does a new pool build take? 8 months? I know you don't do it, but you kind of get where I'm going with this, right? So what if you sell a $15,000 kitchen? And we have the pricing set for you guys to get about a 30% margin, which is kind of your wheelhouse, right? That's $4,500 worth of profit on a $15,000 kitchen versus $8,000 on a $80,000 project. Yeah, right. That's the point. So someone else built it, someone else installed it. It doesn't leak or turn green. It doesn't cave in. Rain doesn't delay it. You get to pay for it in 30 days if you have a account with Horner Express. So you get your money from the customer before you got to pay for it. And you get your profit in a couple of weeks versus months. So that's a smiley face versus a frowny face.
And our biggest thing is no service. They call, we send service guys out there, like, bottom of the hat.
Right.
We pay the service guys.
So one of the challenges that comes up with outdoor kitchens is people say, yeah, I'm interested in an outdoor kitchen, but how much are they? And you say, I don't really know, right? Because you don't know what size they want. You don't know what features they want. You don't know too much. So I put together these real basic packages, and they were on the screen, but I'm putting them in your hands now. I'll give you as many of these as you want. Oops. But let me show you how they work. Let's just take the Key West, for example, which is in the middle of the front page there. I guess I don't know if it's the front page or the back page, but called the Key West. So as an example, the Key West is a 7-foot cabinet with the acrylic texture, natural stone tile countertop, a grill, double doors, a refrigerator, and that up there says $7,500. What's in front of you says $7,900. So this is current. That was last year. Sorry, inflation. Thank you, Joe. Hope I didn't offend anyone. Anyway, $7,900 is the suggested sell to Mrs. Homeowner price. Not your cost.
7 foot is a straight kitchen.
7-foot straight kitchen with a 32-inch nice grill, doors, and a standard refrigerator. Okay? This price is inclusive of us delivering it to the job site, doing the basic installation. We don't do gas, plumbing, electrical. Okay? How's that sound? And Mrs. Smith's either going to say fabulous, would be fine, or she might say, well, that's all it is. I want it bigger. You say, great, right? Or she says, you're freaking out of your mind. I was thinking it was going to be $500. And you say, have a nice day, Mrs. Smith. So it really helps you qualify, the people. And if you sold one of these packages, also, just for example, Mrs. Smith says, yeah, I really like it, but, you have it shown here in your picture with stone veneer, and that's really what I want.
$1,700.
Well, just add the money to it, ma'am. It's right there. I've already done the math for you. Add
And
$700.
These are at 30% profit for us already.
Already.
Wow, that's
Mrs. Smith says, hey, it's great, but I really want a solid piece of granite for the countertop. You say, cool. We'll send you a solid piece of granite, and it's $1,000 more than the tile.
That's insane, because if they go shop at granite countertop by itself at $35 a foot, and they just say they want a 50, but they think it's going to be like $4,000.
Well, and the number you said, $35 a square foot, that's what you see sometimes. But that ain't it.
That's what they want.
That ain't fabrication, that ain't
Right.
templating, that ain't installation.
$70, but
It's usually about $75 or $80 a square foot, and that's about what we're charging too, just so you know. But it's it's competitive. It's not crazy.
give it the upcharge is almost nothing.
Some people it may be nothing. Other people it may be too much. So anyway, you
don't have to go off these prices.
right.
Like, for example, when I did mine, they gave me, I did mine custom. My customer gave me a sketch of what she wanted. These are idea, if she made this, it was 18 foot. They went, designed it, they said 18's not big enough, we gotta stretch it to 20. They sent me a price sheet on PDF. I cut off the part that showed suggested profit, and I showed it to her. It showed my cost, one column, and with suggested markup. I just crossed off the cost, and I gave it to her. And if I wanted it to be, show more, he would have edited it and put more suggested profit. So you can make whatever you want.
Yeah, and again, I don't care what you sell it for.
No, this is great, though.
How long does it
Just
take
go
for
off
you
of
to get
this.
it back to us like on a more custom instead of like a,
Like a rendering?
well, not necessarily the rendering, but just like, hey, look, they want 20 feet, they want a horseshoe.
I'll show you.
Like, what's the time for you to spit back something to us?
So these are kind of packages that I put together, right? And they're certain size and they're easy, right? But the reality is a lot of times, just like in your situation, that's not what ends up happening, because that's what they could buy at Paradise. All they can get, right? Well, we wanted to be more than that. So it is a factory built custom. So we can do lots of different things. So here's some examples of, some custom pieces. Wish I had a picture of yours in here, but I don't. Oh, okay. So this is a real common situation. And this is a brand new home. Then the home builder said, do you want an outdoor kitchen? And the homeowner said, sure, how much are they? And they said, well, it's 50 grand, we'll put it in a mortgage. And the homeowner said, no thank you, but I will go ahead and spend the $1,500 or $2,000 for the stub out package. So that's what they did. Well, look where the idiots put the plumbing. So this is their slider to get to their backyard/pool. And now you're going to put a 30-inch deep cabinet here. And how are you going to get out of the door? Yeah, go left and swipe left instead of slide right. This is what we did.
Okay.
So we just made a wall deep enough to hide that plumbing, and went straight to the right to get to where it needed to go. So that's pretty custom. And in addition to that part of this job,
Hang out next to the guy who's
it also had the post in the back corner with a electric or powered slide down screen. So there's a lot of different elements in place, and that's how it turned out. Pretty cool, huh?
So what part of that did you guys do, the whole thing?
Whole thing,
Including the back wall?
including the back wall, which is just a porcelain floor tile.
Any idea what that cost?
I think the tile itself was like $4 a square foot, and we charged $15 to do the labor to install it.
So 19 a foot?
Okay. So you asked me about how long it takes to get the drawing. So you send me a sketch, a cocktail napkin sketch, or a fancy pool studio sketch, or pictures, or whatever it is that you can provide, and we'll do a little bit nicer 3D rendering. And at some point, we want your client to sign off on that drawing. Because what we don't want to have happen is we build this thing, shows up at the job site, and she says, oh, it's beautiful, but I thought the side burner was going to be on the left side of the grill, and you morons put it on the right side of the grill. Well, we want to cover all those before we build it, right? And before it's at the job site, and before she's mad. So we try to, I will tell you, at the beginning of the project, it's kind of a nuisance, right? Because we send lots of emails back and forth, asking lots of questions, and you're like, God, are they going to ask me another question? Well, we do all that for a reason, so by the time the job actually happens, it goes smoothly, right? Can you attest? Yeah. All right, so we're going to get into a few more things, but I wanted just to mention these things. Some of the best things or best practices when you're trying to think about an outdoor kitchen. And the first thing says location, 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 just like in real estate, right? The three most important things: location, location, location. So choose a location that complements your outdoor living space and provides easy access to the indoor kitchen if you can. Consider factors such as prevailing winds, sunlight exposure, and how close you are to utilities. Right? If she wants an outdoor kitchen with an outdoor sink and the stub out on the wall is over there, and she wants the kitchen over there, well, you got to figure out a way to get from there to there. So these are just some kind of things to be cognizant of or to be aware of.
That's already been done, and this is a year later, and they want to do the kitchen, so we have to take up the deck to run the plumbing.
No.
If you want to run electrical on it, yeah, you have to run a sleeve.
You can run it across the deck. I mean, I've been in people's houses after the fact, and because the kitchen sits on the edge of the deck.
They put it right behind it.
And then like, just over the travertine, there's a little conduit that just goes and then goes right into the side of it. You can do it that way too. It's not ideal, but
I try to.
people just don't have it in their budget to do it.
Plumbing's a pain because you have to get drains.
Electric, the deck's already been done, it's next.
Pick it up and run a sleeve.
So you'd have to have a crew, putting it on the job.
In that particular instance, yeah, but you try to come up with creative solutions where you can avoid that, right? Like you said, running it around the backside and in the backside.
Depends on where they want to place the kitchen after the fact.
But we don't always sell a lot of sinks as well.
If you notice, none of those packages on there have a sink.
It's gonna be hard because you have to find a drain line.
Yeah, we try not to promote sinks, but they're available, obviously, if you have.
And a sink is a pretty inexpensive thing, right? It's a couple $100. But if you have to get the plumber involved, that couple $100 now is a couple grand, right? And a big pain in everyone's butt. So, but if they want a sink and they already have the utilities there, like that stub out picture I showed you, that's easy. But sometimes they aren't. So, one of the other things I said is, somebody spending $10,000 or $15,000 for an outdoor kitchen, don't let them, put a piece of crap grill in it. I mean, if that's what their mind's set on and that's what they're going to do, I would probably say sure. But I will tell you that, you're kind of stupid. This grill ain't going to last nearly as long as you want it to, and you're investing all this time, money, and effort into this beautiful outdoor kitchen. What are you doing? Spend $1,000 more and get something that's really going to be worthwhile and substantial and last a long time. And ventilation, that's kind of important, right? And I'll get into a little bit more ventilation talk here in a minute. But like, for example, if we were going to put an outdoor kitchen in a screen room and, the house is here and the outdoor kitchen's going this way, it would be better to not put the grill right here in the corner tucked by the house. It'd be more better to put it out here at the end where it's closer to open air. So those kind of things are just, kind of like some common sense-ish things, but just some things that sometimes we don't think about. It's always better if you can have it in an open area versus underneath a lanai, if you can, but a lot of people don't want that. In your case, you had a pergola built over it, right? Fine, perfect, love it, cool.
You guys install vent hoods?
We're going to get to vent hoods in a minute. I don't care about the work triangle thing. Sinks. So when we talked about sinks, there are 3 different styles, and mainly there are 2. So the first one over here on the left is called a drop-in sink, and that's what you would get if you have a tile countertop. So the sink, don't know if we have one in here or not, but it's just a countertop sink, and the stainless steel part, the cabinet or the countertop sits underneath it. So the sink is hanging down in the hole basically, versus undermount sink, which is underneath of the countertop. There's not enough.
It gets all cruddy.
Yeah, there's not enough material there with a tile countertop to do an undermount sink. If you're doing a solid granite countertop, then you can choose either one you want. The undermount sink looks cooler and it's nicer, but there are some challenges with it. There is a gap there between it, but we offer both types. And then there's also a farmhouse sink, which is a bigger thing. These are bar sinks, so they're not very big, right? They're 15 inches. So really you're washing your hands in it. You might rinse a fork or knife, but you're not out there doing dishes, just so you know. But we offer both, as we've talked about before. If the plumbing utilities are already there, it's pretty simple. If there's a plumber involved, it gets very complicated, expensive, and complex. Questions about sinks? Moving on. Vent hoods. Okay. So by code, if the grill is underneath a combustible ceiling, it needs to have a vent hood. Is that code always enforced? No.
What's considered a combustible ceiling?
Wood.
Anything except
Pergola with the styrofoam?
No, that's.
Aluminum structure would be fine. Okay. Screen room would be fine. But if it's in the
A wood.
footprint of the house with ceiling and wooden rafters, not fine. Okay. So that's where vent hoods come into place. And what a vent hood does, there's actually two types. One's called an evacuation style vent hood, which means it's going to suck the smoke out of the room, run it through a vent, and discharge it somewhere down the road. Okay, and it can be either discharged up through the ceiling, through the attic, through the roof. By the way, we don't do none of that. Okay, you probably don't want to do none of that, but there are companies that will do that. AC contractors, right, that will run the venting. A lot of times, especially in a newer home, it's already there. It's not exposed, so there's already a vent line that's in the ceiling. Anyway, or they can actually be discharged right through the back wall. So if you're on an exterior facing wall, they'll put a hole in the concrete block and then blow the smoke right out of the wall versus going up through the attic. Okay, and then there's also what's called a recirculation style hood. So recirculation style hood means that it's going to suck the smoke up from the grill, clean it-ish a little bit, and discharge that same air out of the top. So dirty smoke and cleaner air comes out of the top. And it gets filtered through a charcoal filter. Does this work as good as this? Absolutely not. Will this get you through a code situation? Absolutely yes. Okay? So there are some municipalities where you can't not have a vent hood. So this is a pretty good, inexpensive option. This is basically like your microwave vent hood, right? It just cleans the air. Do they work? Yes. Do they work well? No. Will it get you through code? Yes. Okay. So we can provide the vent hood. I can help you navigate which one is the best for the application. We can install the vent hood, meaning mounting it on the wall, but we don't do the electrical part of it, nor the vent part of it. If there's already a vent line there, we can certainly connect to that, but we're not going to do any of the roof penetrations or anything like that. Okay, so don't be afraid of vent hoods. You just got to know a little bit about them and when they are required and when they're not. Okay? All right, cool. This basically says the same thing. The other thing that says is that the recommended height for the vent hood is about 3 feet off the grill, which means that the bottom of the vent hood is going to be about 6 feet off the ground. Just FYI. There's different mounting types. Typically, we do one that's called a wall mount, like this. So it's mounted right to the wall. Sometimes we do an island style, which means it's hanging down from the ceiling. But the principle is the same, it's just how it gets mounted. So the difference between an island style and the wall mount is the island style is finished on all sides and it's hanging down from the ceiling versus being unfinished on the back side because it's mounted to the wall. Cool? Okay, so we made it really easy, I think, to do the pricing. Hey, Edison, can you do that PowerPoint thing, or I mean the Excel file thing for me? Okay. While we're doing that, why don't you guys get some food? How's that sound?
I'll open this up.
So while you guys are eating, I was just going to show you this little tool that Greg was mentioning when I send him the quote, this is how I did it. And I will give you guys this tool as well, so you can do it as you choose. However, don't feel obligated that you have to do it, because we're always here to help you and support you and get you pricing, but it's pretty damn easy when I walk you through it. You'll see that I made it to keep it simple. So, for example, you can put your client's name and information up here, right? Make it fancy. And you put in Mr. Smith. And then over here, you got to tell the tool what type of cabinet they're looking for. So the first example is a textured cabinet with a tile countertop. So that means it's going to look just like this. They get to choose the tile they want, and they get to choose the color of the texture, which is what we did for you. And then you got to tell it how big the cabinet is. So someone asked me about how much per square foot. So we'll make the math easy. Uh-oh, number lock doesn't work. Let's try that. Huh. Well, pisser. Oh, now we're going. Maybe it's just a delayed reaction.
Yeah.
Really
All that
delayed.
funky weather out there.
You think?
I don't know, I'm just trying to make an excuse for dinosaur equipment.
Here we go. Could be operator error, but I don't think so. So anyway, it does the math for you. And this is the part you wouldn't be showing to your client. So as a matter of fact, I could maybe pull this over here. And so Mrs. Homeowner would see for this particular cabinet, we suggest that you sell it for $555 a linear foot. And we did the math for you, so it's $5,500. That's just for the cabinet. Maybe she wants to add some stuff, like she wants the Primo. So she's going to do a drop-down shelf for the Primo to sit in. So we do that one, and we put a quantity of 1, and it added it to the price. And let's say that she's going to, she likes everything, but she doesn't want the cabinet with the acrylic texture. She wants it with stone veneer. So instead of choosing one with a textured cabinet, I'm going to choose one that's a non-textured cabinet. Okay, but I still got to figure out how much stone veneer is going to be needed for this thing. So let's do some math aerobics. We have a 10-foot cabinet, and it's 3 feet tall. How many square feet?
30 square feet.
Bam! So we got 30 square feet in the front, and we got the 2 ends, and they're about 7 square feet apiece. That's 14, and we had 30.
44.
Bam! So we put in a 44 here, and then we go over here and we say we're going to add some stone veneer. Now I don't know what selection she's chosen yet, because we haven't even talked about that, but we know she wants something. We're going to figure out what she wants eventually. That's why it says to be determined. But anyway, that's how you do it. So we need some stone veneer. We also have the labor to install the stone veneer, right? So if your crew wants to do it, fine. But we have a subcontractor that will do it in your behalf. And you see that they're charging you $18.50 for the labor. Okay? And you're charging Mrs. Homeowner about $25 for the installation part of it. But that's how you figure out the cost. Okay? Let's pretend like Mrs. Homeowner wants it with a solid granite countertop. So you go back to the top and you're going to say, I want a non-textured cabinet, because I'm putting stone veneer on it. No tile, right? So you're going to change it here. Obviously, I'm just making a bunch of nonsense, but I'm just trying to show you the cost difference between one that's totally done with the countertop and the tile already on it versus one that doesn't have the exterior texture on it because we're doing veneer, and one that doesn't have anything on it. So anyway, then you got to do your math Olympics again and figure out how much granite you need. And remember, we had a 10-foot long cabinet, and the cabinet itself is 28 inches deep. You got a little bit of an overhang in the front. So in my head, I call that 3 feet, and I got 10 feet long. So back to our 30 number is how much granite you need. And you put that number in there, hopefully. Ah,
Now, Chris,
yes.
so what if I'm doing, like, I'm nervous about this and I have questions trying to fill this out? Can I ask you to do this?
I just told you you could.
Okay.
You were busy over there eating or something. But yeah, no, I'd definitely do this for him.
Yeah, so if you guys, like, don't be afraid of this, we'll definitely, when, you know, we're showing you, you have, this is a tool that you guys are gonna be able to have access to, but if you're uncomfortable, we can walk through and help you with these as well. Like, we're just showing you, you will have the availability.
Yeah, just like Greg did. I mean, he basically sent me an email with the information that the customer wanted, and this is how I gave him the price.
We just plug this in and, yeah.
We'll have access to this now.
You will have access to it, and you can do it on your own.
So it's substantially cheaper to do the texture cabinet with tile counter.
Yeah.
We're talking
That's about
3,500 for, no, they're $4,000 just to do the stone on it and the countertop, whereas you're probably $4,000 just
Yeah.
could be viable.
Right. And all the packages that I handed out earlier, that's what they include. But I also did the math and figured out the upgrades for you. But this is how the pricing's done. So the good news about this is, it is pretty easy to do once you do it a couple times. But the even better part of it is that you know exactly what your cost is. You know exactly what we suggest you sell it for. Now, can you sell it for more than this? Absolutely. Can you sell it for less than this? Absolutely.
In the quote, if you wanted to go and change that $12 a foot for stone, could you change that right now, or is it like?
Well, if you knew the secret passcode, yes, you can.
You had to go with that?
You have to go to this back page, and if you wanted it to be different, then you put it in there. So yes, the answer is yes, you can.
So that data page is pretty much a price sheet.
Uh-huh. You got it. So the format of this quoting tool kind of follows the format of the way I would approach how to figure out what size kitchen I need, right? So first of all, I'd figure out how much space they have. That's where I got my 10 feet. Then I'd figure out what they want to put in it, what grill they want, what refrigerator they want. And you just kind of follow the format. You see over on the left-hand side, it kind of like lists out what we're looking for. So the next thing down the list is the grill. So you can go here and you can tell it that I just like that beautiful 32-inch Sizzler grill. Or maybe you say, I'd like to see how much more that 32-inch Pro is because it's got the lights. So you can see the retail price difference is about $400
Plus the electrician.
plus the electrician. And then you decide which one you want and you put in a number there of 1, maybe. Numbers are tricky. There we go. And anyway, that's how you build this whole deal out. And when you scroll all the way down the bottom, you see we have some money already built into the package to cover freight and to cover our installation costs. I mean, it ain't free, right? Somebody's paying for it. But it's all included in those package prices that I gave to you. So it's all done.
Charge sales tax on this stuff.
You, yeah, somebody's paying sales tax.
It's like on our contracts, it's not tax.
You charge tax on parts, I'm sure. Don't you?
No, not on our contract.
Oh, you got to charge it on this.
Yeah, so our cost would be plus tax.
Yeah,
So their cost would be plus tax.
yeah.
So you're just showing them the cost.
It's a normal thing.
You get tax on gas, you get tax on everything, but
Plus delivery, plus.
delivery's included,
That's it. It's the total.
installation's included.
It's your option, though, like, you know.
Yeah, this particular one already has a,
Plus
This
delivery
is
and.
plus tax, right. These prices don't include tax and delivery.
Right. I know, but you could, they don't, it doesn't.
Well, I don't
list
think they
that.
do. These prices here don't include freight, install.
they do.
They don't.
They don't know, that's what I'm saying, you could theoretically have, which one of these options you like, this is plus tax, and we don't sell off of these
One
prices.
comment that,
Give them free delivery.
one comment that I was confused about is I know when we did mine, I did a 10 and a 10. But when they did input, they put an 18 because it's the inside we're measuring, not.
Right.
That's, I don't know if that's a violation, everyone can know.
Well, so I'll explain that to you. So your you did an L shape, right? And it was 10 feet on the backside and 10 feet on that backside. But we don't charge you twice for that meeting point.
Right, so you're taking off 2
So we should be marking that.
I'm taking off the 2 feet where the two things intersect. So in your mind, if you think about it, if you made each one of those an independent unit, you'd have an 8-footer that's butted up to a 10. That's how you do it. You just don't charge twice for the middle.
You just charge 8
Mhm.
Just saying, I ordered a 10-foot and 10-foot piece, but the 10-foot goes like this.
We-
I only charge 18.
We could have charged you for more, but we didn't do that. So Greg, why don't you tell us about your experience, since this is unsolicited and you did one. How did it go?
No, mine was fine. I mean, it took longer. I think there was just a lot of back and forth going over it. The install was fine. You don't know how to use it.
No, actually, the reason it
I
took
didn't have access to this.
the reason it took longer was there was some back and forth to get all the information, and also our preferred installation contractor was out of town, so that took a little bit longer than normal. But the normal lead time is, once you give me an approval to order it and a signed drawing, it's about 3-week production time, and then it's usually about another week to coordinate the delivery and installation.
2 small complaints.
Okay, let's hear them.
One of the outlets, like we had outlets in the front. It was a little bit, maybe a little cockeyed. Maybe it was my eyes, but it's a little off. If I get feedback, I'll show you. Maybe a little crooked. Tilted a hair.
Okay,
It's my eye.
it looks like it's tilted in the picture for sure.
Tilted. And then my only thing that I don't know if it's, maybe I'm just not used to the product, is where the intersection is on the back side.
Yeah,
The compounding work, because obviously it's not finished yet. They had to come and finish it. It's just, the seam is not crisp.
pristine.
No, it's a little bit like, I don't know if it's not your preferred installer. Customer's happy, I'm fine, I'm paid on it, so no
Well,
major
they-
complaints, but I could see where it could have been. I don't think I have a picture, I don't think I took a picture, I try not to highlight it. So I didn't love, so I think I would prefer to do stone texture.
Well, I will.
More on the L shape, maybe advise that, if I just knew that up front. like-
I'll make a comment. I noticed that in your picture too. I wasn't going to highlight it either, but
I don't know if you can see it on the picture.
I saw one from the
Yeah,
job
right
site
there,
from
you can
somebody.
see it's like,
Yeah,
it's a little bit rough.
Is he using the same acrylic or is he using something else?
same acrylic. So it's going to come with the same acrylic texture extra, and it's also going to come with grout, which we had an issue with the grout. But so what the installer is supposed to do, and obviously didn't, it's really, you can't get the wet texture on the dry texture because it kind of just layers it up. So what you're supposed to do, just so you know, you're supposed to run a piece of tape down that seam, and he didn't do it.
So was it this installer is not the best one, or is that just something, it happens?
It happened.
Like, should I know, should I?
No, I yelled at him already. I think it'll be fine
So
going
should
forward.
I point out to my customers, like, hey, this isn't.
No.
No, I should have pointed out in the future going forward that. Okay.
Don't be afraid going forward is what I'm trying to say. But the issue was he didn't
Seam it properly.
seam it properly. So if he would have done what he's supposed to do, which is
would be fine.
run tape, and then you would put the texture in there, and then you wipe it off, then it goes away, blends
My only two
perfectly.
complaints.
But the problem was he didn't.
probably-
He took a shortcut.
It's
Probably
fine.
150 degrees out there, and he got
Probably
lazy.
fine if it's against the wall where the outside is in the grass area, then no one will see, but if it's an area where people are gonna sit.
And as far as the outlet goes, that's
Is it movable?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
you can just loosen that screw up and move it. It has like a toggle thing, that'll tighten it up and fix it.
But I mean, other than that, it looked good. The green egg fit perfectly, but I'm glad to know, so there's a place on this that shows that.
I don't have the Primo on there. I'll send you information on it though. There's a place on this quoting tool that says you can do the drop down for that, but I don't have everything in there. And so that brings up another point. In this quoting tool, it also has these lines here which say other stuff not in that database. So if you want to add something like you're paying my ass fee, here's $500, or I'm here green egg, that you had to buy, you could have put that in here so you could present a complete and full quote, electrical, whatever you want to do. And again, back to the pricing. This is the suggested retail price, and you'll be very price competitive with other options out there like Paradise and other things. You'll be priced less than some, more than others, but that's the way life is. But you can sell it for whatever you want. Like if you can get $1,000 more for it, go for it. It doesn't matter to me. If you have to sell it for $1,000 less, that's a decision you have to make as far as how you want to get the business or not get the business.
I don't know if it's a you question or Christina question, but payment wise, with how my account's set up, like, I don't mind if I need to pay a deposit, I just need to know up front how we're working those, so the sales guys could either get a deposit or am I selling it as, hey, no deposit until we get into production, like, you know, how are we gonna do
Well,
that?
for especially the custom projects, we would
Right.
like at least a 50% deposit because we can't do much with that.
Okay.
You know, it's whatever colors are selected, you know, our hands are tied. So we do like to ask for that. But, I mean, the
It's
way your
fine, I just
account,
need to
we
know.
could do, yeah, we could do different things because I know the way your account's set up is a little bit
I don't
different.
mind, it's just, I just need to know, so everyone, when they go to sell them, they're just not saying, yeah, no deposit needed, and all of a sudden I get.
50% on custom.
I would say at least 50% on custom. And I think on the other stuff, I think we're pretty good to go because you guys could be a terms account if you wanted.
Yes.
So it's just the way, yeah, so I would say
50%.
we should be comfortable with that. Is that
Yeah,
what
and what you're saying is we just,
I'm assuming the 50% you'll send me a bill once we get into production.
Yeah, once we start doing like the rendering and we'll figure this out, you know, and a lot of times the customers will understand when it's like
Oh,
a
no, that's
custom.
fine, I don't think
They'll
anyone's gonna have a gripe about it, just for us to know, like, this first one we did, I didn't do a deposit, you sent me a bill and they shipped it, and that was
Yeah.
fine, whatever.
Yeah,
But as long as we know upfront, so we can explain to our customers, hey, you know, we'll do all the back and forth, but once you give me the final send off, I need the 50% deposit so it goes into production.
yes. Yeah, once you get the rendering back and, you know, they're good to go, yeah. Before we order it, yeah, that would be good.
Internally, we just put this on our financing.
all right, so I'm just gonna give you these and I'll give you more than this.
Approach it at 0%, no,
I'm happy to give them our 0% financing, that's fine.
But then you'd have to lay out the money.
Okay.
Right, but you gotta deal with the profit, so it's worth it.
All right, so just let me sum everything up. I'm just gonna walk you through this catalog. So on the inside page, it talks a little bit about how the thing's made. You're not going to read this word by word, but you can point out a few things like how it looks on the inside. It looks better. You're not going to look down and see dirt and pavers and bugs and critters. It's made to be outside. You can actually use it for storage.
Oh, real quick, while we're on that topic, obviously we install a lot of patio floors and drainage.
Mm-hmm.
So there's gonna be some pitch on our floors. How does that come into place on a prefab unit that's fixated?
Great question. So if it's one with the acrylic texture on it, we're going to do a toe kick. You guys know what a toe kick is?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. It's a little
It's got
4-inch.
like little knobs underneath.
If
like
you
a
look on
refrigerator,
this
like you can-
page
Oh, sure.
page 14, there's a real good example of a toe kick.
Okay.
So the cabinet comes down, so we're going to use shims to get it level, and then they're going to cut the face of that toe kick at an angle to overcome that slope.
Okay.
If it's one with stone veneer, we don't do a toe kick and we run the stone all the way to the ground.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so we took that into account, yes. So we got that covered. Good example of one with veneer and a natural stone granite, solid granite countertop and fancy glass tile on the backsplash. And these are kind of like the elements of design, we'll call them. If you look on page 4, so, and these are like the starting sizes, I guess I'll say. So if you look at this first one, it says cabinet with countertop. That's kind of like where the grill goes. And the normal height is 36 inches tall and 28 inches deep. This is custom, so if somebody said, hey, I'm super short or I'm handicapped and I want it to only be, 30 inches, not a problem, not a different charge, just tell us.
Make them taller too for
Make them
basketball
taller
players?
too for basketball players. Yep. But these are kind of like the starting points, just so you kind of have an idea. So 28 inches depth and a
These are
outdoor
standard, and then you have
standard.
custom.
Yeah, an outdoor cabinet is a little bit deeper than your kitchen cabinet because the grill hood has to roll up and roll back.
Yeah, normally it's 25 inches within the rack.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
I sell kitchens for serious.
Okay, so you know what's up. So everything else is just kind of like an add-on to that, right? So the drop downs on the quoting tool kind of follow the format of the book, is what I'm trying to get at. So we do additional things like we do an open shelf if they want to store their liquor bottles outside. We do the drop down thing for a big green egg. If it's a bar and they want a kick rail on the front of it, we do that. So they kind of get to choose the design that we've talked about. They choose how they want it finished, and it's as easy as that. Yeah, and these are the same kind of line drawings of the packages that I priced you out there.
We try to
And
make this easy for us to make.
I really tried to keep it simple, stupid. Page 10 is all the color options for the acrylic texture. And they get to choose the texture level. So this is like a real light sand finish. and that's more of a stucco look.
They do porcelain tops too.
Yep, and then on next page is some examples of what stone veneer could be. There's more than that, but there's an example. And these are all the different countertop options.
And it doesn't matter what countertop option, it's
Same
all
price.
18 by 18.
18 by
tops.
18, same price.
Okay.
And there's some information about the grills and such and such and such. And then the last pages are just pictures. Because people, you know, well, they like to see stuff. And on the back page is a really good example of one with acrylic texture on the cabinet and this tile countertop on the top. So the tile, like when you say tile countertop, people, my mind goes to like 1980s kitchen countertop tile. That ain't that attractive. Well, this doesn't look like that.
The grout lines are disgusting.
You know, these are big format, the grout's really tight, and it's good
You guys
quality
have a
grout.
lot more pictures
Yes,
that like we can get emailed over to us that we can just
Yes.
save as like almost our own,
yes,
because we use a proposal system that just upload pictures into.
you can. I got all kinds of job site pictures from all stages of the state, and none of them say it was built by ABC Pools. They're just part of, you know, they're part of your portfolio.
Just product knowledge.
That's right.
Chris.
Yes,
just to
dear.
Clarify, so everything on this page is included in that price minus the ledgestone?
That is correct.
And it's nice having that
Yeah,
in your house.
Well,
So this is your selection page.
upgrade for the ledge stuff.
It does.
but it
Yeah,
lists,
but you
yeah.
can do it in the app. You
Right,
can do
right,
it.
right.
That's right.
1250 foot plus 18
This
inches.
is like a done roofer going in to check this, I'll do this, I'll do
Yeah,
this. and
like this is your selection, you know, this is like a important selection page, and all this is what's included in the 12 by
How about
12,
samples?
minus the ledgestone.
What happens when we write an order and they want to base their picks and colors based on samples? That's it. We'll each get a sample.
Well, this is, they make their selections here, like when you're sitting with them, and then typically, you know,
They
they'll.
wanna touch and feel and they want to.
It's on these.
So we'll each get a board.
This is just countertops.
These are countertops.
Yeah, we can get your boards.
These are the texture choices, but these are all countertop.
That's correct. So these are porcelain,
So these are porcelain tiles.
and there might be one missing, but
It's an idea, but these are all different granites. They get big.
so this is granite, travertine, marble.
Come down the same
These
way.
are the finish. These are the
lip
texture
comes.
finishes.
Yeah, the reveal or the edge. So it looks, you know,
The texture
thick
stuff
and
is
impressive.
finishes, which-
Looks thicker than a solid granite countertop.
What kind of run-ins, problems that you might have afterwards, so if someone wants to keep it more affordable, do the countertops that come with you, but their plan is they're gonna redo their kitchen soon, and they're bringing their granite company, and they'll do the outdoor kitchen cabinet, but now your grill's already mounted, and that's all based upon countertop, right?
Right.
You're
You gotta
you're
do the
notching for the
countertop.
grill,
You gotta do the countertop first.
or do you have to reframe the?
If they were trying to take one that had tile on it and convert it to granite,
Correct.
solid granite,
You gotta cut it and do that.
it would be pretty,
You gotta fab it on the job, right?
it'd be pretty,
You gotta cut and fab it on the job.
yeah, it would
You're not
be,
doing that in the factory.
No.
So that framing that's built for that grill is based upon already knowing what the countertop selection is going to be. 'Cause
unless they don't want to put any countertop on.
well, and before you actually order the project, okay, you're talking about a kind of an outlier, but just
Well, there's a lot of those.
as a general rule of thumb, before you order the project, we're gonna make you fill out a little questionnaire. I'm gonna help you, but we ask questions like, is it a tile countertop or is it a solid granite countertop? And if it's a solid countertop, we will need to know the thickness. Most people use 3 cm, which is 1.25 inches, but some cheapos use 3/4 inch, 2 cm. So if I'm building this cabinet and I'm assuming that I'm gonna have 1.5 inches of granite, but only have 3/4 inch of granite, the cutout that I'm doing for the grill, when I say I mean the grill cabinet guy, is doing, you know, it's gonna be too high. So we ask you those questions. We also ask you, like, is the cabinet going against the wall? So if it's going against the wall in the back, why do we care? Well, we care because we don't want to have vents for the cabinet in the back. We want to put them on the end. We ask you questions like, is there utilities on site? Utility stub outs. So back to his question, you know, how do the utilities come in? So we're going to put a cabinet against the wall that Jerry's sitting against. And I want to know that there's an outlet that's 24 inches from the left. Then there's one that's 65 inches from the left. And the reason I care about that is it makes installation go a whole lot better, because what I would prefer not to have happen is the big old metal support structure. I don't want it to be right there. I want it to be right there, right? So we avoid those things. So now the cabinet comes to the job site, and all they do is they cut a hole in the cabinet, put it against the wall, and now our utilities are through. It's not the end of the world if I have to cut through this, but it's a pain in the ass. So we ask you those kind of things. And we also will like mention things. For example, if they chose the TRL grill, and we know it has the rear rotisserie, but you don't have any outlets on the cabinet, maybe you need one. Or maybe you don't, because there's already an outlet on the wall. So we try to like...
So the TRL grill, the outlet where the rotisserie option would plug in to above counter outlet, not, it wouldn't,
Where they'll put them inside the cabinet, you saw mine.
well, you'd have to fish that down to the
You'd have a
countertop.
box inside
You'd
the
have to cut the countertop and,
Yeah, but if you're putting a TRL grill in, they'll count for that.
well,
We will do our best to kind of walk you through and make sure you manage
Yeah,
it.
but
they gotta
my
cut on
grill,
job
in
site,
my- yeah,
that
but-
cord, that extension cord.
Yeah, but in my grill, they put three outlets inside, and we have one for the fridge, and then two underneath the stove, and then we have two
Yep.
on the outside. So
But and to answer your question, again, it depends on the real job, the real world. But, you know, if you have outlets on the wall like this, then we don't need to add one.
Right, because you can always take that one and spread off from that one too.
Right. And if you have a cabinet with a backsplash, sometimes we put an outlet, hard to see what it is, but
Right,
in the backsplash.
just so you have an accessory.
So job site pictures are also very helpful. I asked Greg, you know, a couple times for different job site pictures because it just gives the production factory a better idea what's going on, and it gives the installer a better idea what's going on, so he knows exactly where to place it. Yes?
Clearance, how much room do we need for clearance, like if they're going through, like a gate or something?
screen enclosure. How about a screen enclosure door?
The typical cabinet is 28 inches deep. A typical screen door is either 34 or 36, so it'll slip through the cabinet. If you're doing a crazy one with like an overhang, like a 12-inch overhang, we'll ask you that on this little order form we make you fill out too. So it might be a situation if you're doing one that has like a 42-inch countertop, we got to take a screen door out or a panel out or something like that. Did I answer your clearance question? In your job, it was great because I think they were able to get the machine, the big Moffett, pretty much all the way to the back. So the installer was really happy when he saw that. Typically, that may or may not be the case. So just as far as the way the installation normally goes, is Horner Express is going to deliver the product on a pallet to the job site the day prior to installation. So sometimes we set it in the driveway, the front yard, the backyard if we can get the machine back there. But then the next day, the installer shows up and moves it from point A to point B with dollies and men and all that kind of stuff. More questions? Anybody scared to sell an outdoor kitchen? It ain't rocket science. People want them. You make money. It's pretty easy. We take most of the pain away.
The only thing is we just slow our project down, because we would have to wait to possibly, when you guys are ready, then do the install, or just
Afterwards.
either come in afterwards or we start everything.
After we do the deck, right?
Just prep it all.
Do the plumbing? No,
Stuff up for,
And the time on the job site for the installation team is like they're in and out in a day.
yeah, we are, our guys are really quick too.
So we don't like, you know, we don't drag you down. There is some production time involved for sure. There's some scheduling and coordination time.
So like that wall behind it, this butts up to a wall.
Yeah.
The customer wants to pay the option to tile up the wall.
Uh-huh.
Is that like just standard pricing in there?
We
Square footage.
basically charge the same for tile installation on a wall as we do for veneer installation on the cabinet. Now there are some caveats to that. You know, the guy gets out there and the wall is like this, and you know there's bumps and humps and stuff like that. They're going to charge something extra for wall prep, but you know we'll go over all that kind of stuff ahead of time. Usually the job site pictures will kind of help point out that there's going to be more involved, but that's kind of the way we do it. Okay? Or your guys can do it if you want to make that part of your scope. No? Big head shake. No? Yes, Jerry?
So from PO sent to backyard, around 3 to 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And again, the touch back up if there's a screen room, wall, or a fence gate, you guys, or is that our responsibility?
No, they'll take it through the gate and through the door.
Let's say there's a screen room.
Well, we gotta put the screen back.
Normally, it depends on what they bought, right? But normally the cabinet is skinny enough where it'll slide right through the door.
Through any door.
Okay, but this comes in two pieces. It's not coming like that.
Yeah.
I was just watching the video you had with the extended countertop overhang. That one looked like that might not fit through. a
That would
screen
probably
door.
not fit through a screen door.
So what do you do in that scenario? Is
We know ahead of time that it's going to be a challenge, and we
it's already
ask
built
you
into your
to.
price, or is that something that we're?
You would have to take.
Okay.
You would have to contact Mr. Screen Guy to take out a panel, and then put the panel back in. I mean, our guy would probably come out there and cut the panel out for you. But
He ain't putting it back.
you ain't got to put it back. So again, before we actually order this thing, we're going to ask you some questions like, is it going through a screen door? And if the answer is yes, and I know that it's got the overhang on it, I'm going to be having a conversation with you and say, hey, this isn't going to fit through the door. What we're going to do, and we're going to figure it out.
Got it.
And that one, but that was good. Whoever noticed that overhang, well, that was good, because that's one of the reasons we make you fill out this little questionnaire thing that we have.
Like you said, you want it to just run smooth when you get there.
We,
You don't
yeah.
get there and have to take the cabinet back or something.
No one wants a problem, right? And no one wants to make a mistake. So we do everything we can ahead of time to avoid it in the field. Good questions. You guys are you're into this, man. It's
Here,
good.
different if we had to do 7 papers with every order. What type of countertop, what type OD, what kind of edge it was on, the door, the edge, what thermofoil door was going on.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was crazy.
You can make yourself crazy over this stuff, and
This is easy.
we try to make it easy.
Looks easy.
Yes, Jerry.
I like easy.
Well, yesterday at our training, what are those little things called that our girls come with? Briquettes.
Oh, briquettes?
Briquettes? I don't know, I just thought that was cool yesterday, learning that all of our girls come with briquettes, except for like the resort grill, and then some of our competitors, like Bull, they don't come with briquettes. Now, if you're wondering like, why do you care or whatever, I mean, to me, like briquettes are more classy looking, right? Maybe that's, to me, that's
Those little
grill.
white little
Yeah.
charcoal looking things.
Yeah, so I'll try to explain what Jerry's.
They keep the temperature when it gets there, right? So you
Yeah.
don't have direct flame on the meat.
Kevin Stones.
So you're not burning your meat.
Yeah.
We have them, and the other cheaper people, like, they don't. So we don't ever talk bad about our competition, but we always talk about why we're better, right? And apparently all the $10,000 plus grills, like the real expensive ones, they all come with briquettes. So that's pretty cool that ours come with briquettes.
I don't have a good picture in there, but yeah. So you have a burner in the grill, right, which is the flame part, or the gas part that's the heat's coming out. And then most grill manufacturers have a piece of stainless steel or cast iron that sits on top of this burner. Some even don't do that. Some are just it's a burner. So we have this briquette tray, and they're little white round ceramic cement briquettes that sit on top of the burner. So the idea is the heat heats up these briquettes, and then it radiates to the food. So it helps reduce flare-ups.
It's like indirect cooking.
It helps maintain an even cooking temperature inside the grill, and it's a feature that's found on really, really high-end grills. So
It's on the sizzler, the basic sizzler.
it's on the basic sizzler, it's on the most expensive one, it's on the,
You know, I mean, who else is out talking about it? I thought it was cool.
and it's, since we talk about Somerset, one of the other things that we like about Somerset is they do a really good job of MAP pricing. You guys know what MAP pricing is? So it stands for minimum allowed advertised price. So the price, I'll never be able to find it again, but the price on the Sizzler Pro that's in this spreadsheet, that's gone away, it was $21.99. Thank you, Edison, he's listening. Go down a little bit. So on a 32-inch Sizzler grill, the list price is $18.15. If you Google 32-inch Sizzler grill, that's the price that will come up online.
So when they're comparing if you give them a breakdown like this, they'll be able to match it up online. It doesn't look like.
And you won't be embarrassed when the guy calls you and says, how come you're trying to sell me this grill for $17 more than I can buy it on Amazon?
Be careful if we're gonna mark these up.
That is,
Well, the equipment you should probably keep at what's listed.
Put on the labor and the cabinet, that's
or some people don't show it by line item. I'm showing you by line item.
the line item makes it easier for us, they can understand.
Some people say the whole package is going to be X number of dollars like we did on those
Then it's hard
packages.
for them to compare dollars.
It kind of is.
What I thought was good though is that when you gave me the quote, is you gave me options, so it was like.
I usually try to give you options.
There's 32-inch, the Pro, and this one, here's 3 choices, here's 3 choices of fridges, she's like, I'll do my own fridge, You know, so like she couldn't pick apart, like the drop down was extra $500. Like, okay, like, it's custom, you gotta build it. And it was
I mean, I wouldn't really give them too many options of letting them provide their own grill because.
No,
then-
it wasn't, it was just, no, which grill, like,
You
the
gotta do it
Sizzler, the
better,
Sizzler
so-
Pro, so it was
No,
like,
no, it's the cabinet's
No, I'm not talking
manufactured based
about
upon
that.
what the
Right.
grill
I'm
specs
saying
are.
the grill, like, he gave me two choices, like, he sent the quote just like that, where the customer had, she had different choices of which fridge she wanted or which.
So the total on the bottom's a little inflated
No,
because
because
of
you
the
see,
two
you
grills?
see where he put the number one?
Uh-huh.
That's the only one that's actually.
Oh,
the
one of
price.
these, okay,
Yeah.
so.
So he did, I'll show you.
And
That's the only one that was-
yes, it's kind of a pain in the butt if they want to provide their own refrigerator,
Scissor Pro versus-
but we do it all the
You don't want
time.
that to blow the deal.
We don't want to say no.
So the price this one wasn't.
So you can, instead of putting like the full list like that, you could just say the difference. We could just have you just put the difference to the
This
upgrade.
one. So this one, he didn't include a fridge, so none were included, but here's the different fridges he gave her an option of, like which one do you want? But in the price, there was none, because she didn't want one.
That's right, because she had her own. She didn't like my fridges. Fridge snob. Cool, any more questions? Okay, I'm Chris. You know Christina, you know Jerry.
Actually, I have one last
There's an
question.
email address on the back of this. Well, there's a website address, but there's also in here, it tells you can send it to BackyardXpo.com email
Okay.
address, or you can send it to my email address. I'm happy to give you my card or whatever you need. Yes, sir, what's your question?
Your bulk of business.
Bulk
from
of
all
business.
your contractors that you guys deal with. Would you say this is probably the bread and butter,
No.
the custom is?
I wish
Starts with that.
it was that. It's a whole lot easier for me.
Just
I
try
just
to
wanna
get
like
her-
how we wanna maybe, some of us might wanna approach which way do we wanna dive into the pool, the shallow end or the deep end? The deep end would be full custom and the shallow end would be like this.
Just trying to get our builders to take that one piece of paper and put it in your pool package, like I offer Jandy and we offer this, like just offering it as an option is tough because people are scared of the unknowns or we don't get asked about kitchens. Well, you might not ever get asked about a kitchen if they don't know you offer it. It's like, hey, look, if you want to buy a kitchen from me, great, love to sell you one. Not pressuring you to sell me one. I'm not teaching you guys that, but that's what we do with like the pool builders. It's like just offer it as an option. That's all we ask you. We're not asking you to be a pushy salesperson, but they're gonna go buy a kitchen somewhere, and right now you own the backyard. Capitalize on it, right?
And renovation is like perfect time to talk about an outdoor kitchen because we had the conversation about it's another 10 grand or 15 grand. Like you want it.
So you're already spending 40, 35, 40. They want a heater and they want a sun shelf. They can have a kitchen instead.
Who was my first point of contact to initiate a quote or getting the job done? Where am
Christina
gonna
or I.
contact Christina?
Neither one.
Okay. Number two, you said all backyard. Are you doing furniture too?
Um,
Because you know how many times we get asked about
Yes.
furniture, and I can never get a straight answer. And I've never been able to get a straight answer in the last 11 years about furniture.
furniture is really hard.
I know.
Okay, and it's really hard because to really do a good job at it, you got to be
You show me.
a showroom and all that stuff. We have a partnership with a company called Pelican Reef, and they have licensed the name Panama Jack. So that's the brand name of the furniture, Panama Jack, which is a name that people know. Does Panama Jack make furniture? No. They have a name, right? So anyway, I can send you a link to the Panama Jack website.
Question and maybe a favor and ask.
Okay.
Can you come up with a sheet like this
Yeah.
for like just basic Panama Jack sets
Yep.
that we could sell to have a retail price that I
And
can
where
Yep.
was
say,
it pointing to
hey,
maybe
I don't
like,
do
hey,
a lot
you
of
go
patio furniture,
feel
but these
it
are my
at
options.
this place?
We have that already. I'll
I
need to
don't
probably
I don't need a
revise it to make
I've got
sure
my
it's current.
catalog, But if I could get a sheet like this
Yeah.
that just says, hey, I do two loungers, here's a small table, here's a coffee table, something like that, that I could just say, I know you're gonna need a patio furniture anyway, while we have all your shit moved off, we're gonna clean and seal your deck, would you like new patio furniture?
Yep, done. I love it.
That's it,
You know,
simple.
I don't really wanna have a showroom, but if I could just say, hey, here you go.
The showrooms, are there local showrooms that we could say, hey, you could go if you want?
Depends on your locality. They have one in
Which
Miami.
other customers are actually going to showroom for furniture? I feel like most of them are buying on Wayfair online.
Yeah, they're gonna pick it out
A
on
lot of people are buying stuff online. It's all e-commerce, so if I have an option and just say, here, this is the patio furniture we have, and I can make a 30% rip on it, like,
What
Yeah.
about the, you
what am I-
mentioned pergolas.
Yeah.
it's warranty on these.
What's what?
What is the warranty on these kitchens?
Lifetime.
Through you?
Well, the manufacturer has a warranty on the appliances and stuff, but
But
the
if there's a
cabinetry's through us.
Okay, so if there's an issue, I just call.
Mhm.
You know, like the stone veneer and the countertops, is it like a 1 year labor?
It's lifetime.
Lifetime?
I mean, once you put a countertop on, I mean, it doesn't cover if someone takes a hammer and busts the cabinet apart.
Oh.
I mean, you know,
Or
or,
like the
a
additional-
tree,
the
but-
options, the veneer option, or
I mean, once if you install stone veneer correctly, it ain't gonna go anywhere, right? If there's an issue, it's gonna rear its ugly head in the first 3 days or a month. So it's kind of like marsiting a pool, right? If it's done correctly and it's maintained correctly. So we got you covered. And we're a pretty big organization and we do right by our customers, so don't worry about that. We kind of go above and beyond. So we have a partnership with Renaissance, and they are powder-coated aluminum structures that are designed as a kit. They're engineered to meet Florida building codes. We quote them out based on wind load calculations by location. So I can give you a quote for a pergola, you know, in 33309 zip code that's going to be different than one that's in Miami zip code because of the wind structure calculations. There's 5 different models, and the models are based on the roof structure. So it can be a pergola style slat, right, which is the least expensive. It can be an elite style insulated roof panel. And it can have lots of cool design trusses, or it can have very few. So those are kind of the determining factors as far as price goes. They are very, very nicely made, good quality stuff, meet all the code, blah, 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 blah. Powder coated aluminum. Pricing seems pretty competitive. We have installation contractor available that will do the installation part of it for you if
So
you
we
want to.
include it in there'll be at some point, like something like this that we can offer, freestanding or attached to the house.
Attached to the house is less expensive than freestanding.
When they're freestanding, do they do the footers? on
If you want them to, they will do them.
Or else we can have them done?
You can have them done as part of your scope. What we typically do is let you guys do the footer part of it, because they're doing things there anyway, and then put your paver deck on top of that, and then the attachment method is basically a pretty substantial L bracket, you know, that gets attached to the post and then Tapcon down
What?
through the paver and into the footer.
I've sold a couple already, and my fabricator, used them 30 years. We bury it into the footer, 1.5 feet deep, and he puts the L strap to make the idiots go away and pass inspection.
Yeah, that's another way of doing it. The only challenge for our program doing it that way is you have to have the product on site when you're pouring the footer. The
Or
way
this is
that,
Post, right?
yeah, right. The way that and then you also have to make sure they're perfectly level and straight and plumb. The way that we do it, there's a little bit more flexibility, I guess. If the footer's already there, then you can come in after the fact and put the structure together. It just timeline, it makes it a little bit more efficient. But we have the ability to do that as well. So
Also, you'll be able to have prices, because, you know, and some people want to span farther, a 3-inch roof can go farther, 4-inch.
that's right. So everything is totally customizable.
They don't want to post in the middle.
And I can't just say that, you know, the price of a 10 by 10 is X number of dollars per square feet, because I can't pinpoint it like that, because it changes by zip code, it changes by if you're on a lake or not on a lake, and it changes by your statement, which is what's the span going to be, right? Because a bigger span might need more posts, it might have to have a thicker roof so it can have less posts. But we have a partnership with Renaissance. If you guys sent me a job that says, you know, here's what I'm looking for, I can quote it out for you in an hour or two and
The
get
only
it back
problem
to you.
is
And then,
I like to leave prices on the spot. I don't know how.
Well-
These are not on the spot sales.
Just figure high.
No, well, I could sell pergolas on the spot, I've done.
well,
The kitchens
I would
are.
imagine they gotta be.
to answer your question, and it's not a conversation for today, it's a follow-up conversation, but they have a design tool online that you go in and you plug in some information, and it will spit you out a price on site.
I just can't, okay, I understand.
But we would have to set you down and like walk you through how to do it. I mean, it's a similar process to this. It's probably a little bit more. It's a little bit more detailed because they need to know information. But you put in the information and it will generate you at a quote, and you can even manipulate their tool and put whatever margin you want to make in it. So it would generate you
10 by 20 and
a retail price point.
from there.
Yep,
Do a 10 by 20 at 3-inch, do a 10 by 20 and 4-inch, and you'll have all your information you need.
we can do that.
Permitting?
For permits, for pergolas, yeah, you pretty much are going to
this will
get,
be
you're going to
something
get busted.
And engineering.
Engineering is, they provide the drawing plans.
But we have to get it sealed.
You get it sealed by your local guy, or they have a partnership with DOP, I think it is, engineering firm. And for $550, they'll send you a stamp set of plans. You pay them direct for that. But yes, you have to have engineering for sure. And engineering's more stringent on a freestanding unit because you have a big sail versus being attached to the house is a little bit.
Right. You gotta know people want, how high can I put it? Do you want it to be covered under the rain, or do you want it to just come sideways and wet you anyway? They want it 10.5 feet in the air. They don't do it more than 9 feet, right?
12 is about the max.
12, we go to 12.
Yep. Cool. Well, we can definitely have a follow-up conversation about pergolas for sure.
Yeah, I just know, like, on an average, a 3-inch roof costs me about $45 a square foot.
With just the pergolas, the roof, or
No, the tails and everything?
no, I'm talking about what type of roof is it?
Insulated roof, fan
3 inch.
beams, pergola, tails, about $45 a square foot, plus the post. $800 for each post for the concrete.
Yeah, that's about what we charge for the post. I think we'd be pretty price competitive with that.
Because that's fine, I mean, I don't, we'd much rather just go with you guys, with everything, I think, as a package.
Louver system, the opening?
They currently don't have
Okay.
one. Working on it. Supposedly we'll have one soon, but currently they don't.
And then you guys mentioned outdoor kitchen, outdoor fire pits.
Definitely have those.
So do you guys offer like an option minus the connection of gas, kind of like you
Yep.
do with these? That we could just give a brochure, which option would you like? You
Yep.
guys take a couple weeks, you guys deliver it and get it set up, and then they have to get their gas connection.
Mm-hmm.
Before you get a propane tank, no?
Or you get a propane tank.
So we could get
It's
some.
still gas.
So,
You have to-
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
different than natural gas or.
Yeah, but they're not gonna make
Oh,
the
right,
point,
right,
they're
right.
not gonna make the connection, they're gonna leave that to somebody else.
Yeah, gas company has to do that.
Not if it's a propane, not if it's a.
Well, you
not-
call
Well, if it's an LP portable tank like you do for a grill, then the homeowner just makes
Yeah,
the
right,
connection.
right. You
I'm
can
talking
call
about unless it's-
AmeriGas and have one put right in.
You could do that too.
At some point, we could get some literature
Yep.
on it.
Chris?
Yes, sir.
Is our website updated for Backyard Expo with some extra things?
Yep. So BackyardXpo.com on the back here is a just information source. There's no pricing on it. There's lots of pictures, lots of brochures, lots of catalogs, lots of links to other manufacturers' websites. But you could go to BackyardXpo.com and go to the fire pit section, and you could see a bunch of different options. Not priced, so I understand what you're asking me for, but at least it might give you an idea what we have to offer.
Turf?
Our sister company, Stone Hardscapes, does turf.
Really? You
We
guys
just got into it like
It's a new
last few
thing.
months.
The pricing seems to be,
How much?
we don't install it.
Oh, no, install. Oh, so you just sell the carpet.
We're just a material supplier.
Right.
You thinking about getting into like a contractor rate install crew? You guys
I
are
don't-
setting up these.
Well, I don't, one step at a time. Yeah, we just got the turf like very
Worth
recently.
the ask.
And we have ivory
Yeah,
too. Yeah, no, that may be something we do.
They just finding you guys to actually do the turf.
That is a problem.
Not easy.
That is a problem.
The Brazilians don't do it.
There's no money in that. Well, there's money in them for this, so why not?
I think on turf, we probably will never be your provider for installations. We might be able to find a relationship with a contractor that we can team you up with, and we can provide the material, they can provide the labor. That would be more of an option than actually having one of our contractors do it for you, I think. But hey, we're not opposed to, exploring whatever we can do.
I always promote our webpage and having the homeowners go on and take a look at it, because there's always things that we forget to bring up, or you just don't have time to bring up.
There's so many
How many-
options too.
Right, I mean, how many points do you bring up to somebody and then they lose track?
Oh, look, Edison's bringing it up for us. Thanks, Edison.
Too much information they can't process.
Yep.
Hey, before you go too far, let me just show you one thing, guys. So this is like the consumer-facing side of the website. But if you clicked in there, which Edison you don't have to do, but where it says dealer login, there's a secret password that I'll give you. It's really tricky. It's all caps. It's HX dealer with a $sign. So all caps, HX dealer, $sign. And if you log into that section of the website, then you'll be able to see all your costs. Dealer pricing's in there. So for example, if you're looking to see how much a Somerset grill was,
Or dealer?
dealer, D-E-A-L-E-R,
Is it a username and password?
just, no,
Just
You
a
just type
password
in
gives
that
it.
password.
H-X dealer, $,
All caps,
all caps.
very important.
$, because you're going to make money.
HXD.
HX dealer, $. You can download the Somerset price list. You can download the furniture price list. You could download a fire pit price list. But this is the consumer side of the website. So if someone is interested in, whatever, they can kind of click around and they'll get catalogs and pictures and job site information and all kinds of cool stuff.
Is this where we have financial Excel sheets to do the kitchens?
Yep. Sure can.
It's under the resource tab.
No, up there at the top, dealer login.
Yeah, I'm in the user, but where from there?
Well, if you're looking for that, can I put my glasses on because I'm old? Can't see shit. So you're in the kitchen part of it, and you're looking for KISS. That one, I think.
That's not the spread, that's not the Excel sheet though, right?
It is not, but it's in there. I think it's called a dealer pricing tool.
It's probably under Excel. I'll dealer quote tool. Sweet.
Cool.
Thanks for that.
Thank you for the opportunity. Oh, and by the way, I am part of Team Horner. I mean, I just specialize in things that aren't the typical distribution thing. So, where you're buying it from Team Horner, and we care about you, and we want you to be successful because we know that if you guys grow, we grow. So that's kind of how we look at things. Got to take this back for now, but I'll be happy to get you more. Yeah.
Those inserts where we can hand out, I definitely like that, board. You don't get them today, right?
No, I got to keep this one with me. I only had one with me today, but we can get you more stuff too.
I like a bunch of those too, if I can.
I'll get you a bunch. Can you share a few with him, and I'll get you more?
I need one catalog, I'll get out a catalog. So I only need one catalog, I'll give them out, put it on the website.
Yeah, so try to keep these as just like, for you guys to help show them. We
Absolutely.
don't, not pass these out, it'll be too much. Just those sheets is typically, you do this when you're sitting with them and you're making selections, but you don't want to give them this whole thing. and
How about we
this
do?
whole
How about we
thing.
do this? We'll have. Will you ask marketing to print a
More than
couple hundred of the
Kiss.
KISS things,
Yeah.
and we'll get them to you?
Kiss litter.
So this should be fillable now?
Christina,
Don't know if you can do it on your phone, but I think so.
besides the Outdoor Expo, do you guys,
Pop up.
obviously you guys deal with a lot of pool builders.
Mhm.
Do you guys have a program?
You might have to download it. To be
Download
honest
it
with you.
too.
Username licensing for designing of pools on the construction side?
There's the data, I mean, that should be enough.
Username licensing.
Well, meaning,
Right.
there's some companies that you sign up.
I don't know.
And you
So
put in
how
the
do we
parameters and
fill
it'll
that
spit out
in?
some designs.
I do it on my laptop. I've never tried it on a phone.
For pool builders.
At least I can see all
They
the
have to
prices,
pay
though.
for all that.
Okay, it's
What's
something
that?
separate.
Because I see all the
Yeah,
prices.
yeah,
Okay.
they pay for, pool studio.
MAP
and
is the.
Not through you
which-
guys,
which
it's
is
just
the
on the,
suggested
on
price.
the.
Yep.
That's through its own,
So I think
It's all
SCP
special.
does something like that to the
for that they let the customers,
the vendors use.
Vendors use.
Yeah, depending, I guess, what tier level vendor they might be, what their accounting is set up
that's
as.
interesting, yeah.
I've seen it on
Yeah,
their-
I'll look into it,
Yeah, I've seen it. It's a tool that they offer. It may
okay.
be a standalone tool that they might charge a subscription or a fee for, but I did see it on there.
If they offer it, I'll look into it, see what we can do, it's the first I've heard of it. You hear of, SCP offering, sounds like some type
They have a
of
studio
pool
program
design.
for pool design.
Mm-mm.
They let their customers all use or have access to.
Maybe not all their customers.
Well,
but
certain
maybe.
customers, certain ones maybe,
No.
You're not thinking of pool studio, right?
yeah, but they're saying like
SCP
SCP.
has something on their website I came across once.
Oh, it's like a design your backyard kind of thing or something like
I
that.
don't know how involved it is. It might be really basic. You know,
I don't think it's as good as this.
Well, he's saying for pool.
on the
Yeah.
pool construction
On the
side.
pool side, but I'm like, yeah, then maybe they're paying for pool design and they're sharing like the licensing or something, but I'll find out. Yeah, I'll definitely find out. That's the first, like I said, I've heard about it, so I'll look into it.
I bet it ain't free.
I'm sure they'll have some type of tier, you know, your account set up that way and you're ordering X amount of dollars a month or you pay a monthly subscription to them, something. You know, because they have the full 360 app, obviously, it's a downloadable app that you can log in, see inventory and pricing on parts and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're working on it. We have the same thing. It's coming.
It's coming?
It's coming really soon, yeah.
Okay.
We had it today, it's just,
It's not ready to be released.
It's not quite ready, yeah. We're still working out some things with it and, yeah.
Well, we have it today, but it's just embarrassing to show it you.
We're not ready to show you yet.
you can tell them that we're pretty transparent in the room.
Yeah, we'll be honest, yeah. Yeah. But we're getting caught up. We have some cool stuff coming to the websites and apps and stuff. We've been working on it a long time. It's coming. It's coming to a head.
Well, Chris, it was good shit, man.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.